I know. Yeah, that's what I.
Yep.
I don't know.
A little bit further than National Park is called.
You go 29, 30, ready?
Keep it going, Tim.
2, 33, 34, 35, 36, 38, 39, 40, 42, 43, 48, 49, 50.
Alrighty. And what we need to do is we need to stay down here. We're going to start from down to this end and just make it real slow for us, okay? So we start here.
Okay, now. Should you go now?
Just when we start spinning this, just start turning it real slow, okay? Right there. Just keep pressure on as you go down.
You need to get on this side. Get it here so we can get it down. Yeah. Yeah.
Best rope is side of Mississippi. All right, good job. Good job, good job.
How even you keep that? You keep it too tight, it is not up when you keep it too loose and it gets sloppy.
Yikes. No sloppy ropes, guys.
Keep it coming, Matt. Keep it coming.
It's coming. Let's see little quicknesses. Oh, you mean this?
There you go.
Work it, Matt.
I didn't know this.
Foot on it, Matt.
No, don't put it. No, don't put it.
I'm not putting it on. Oh, it has to walk.
Yeah, it walks forward with the ropes.
Nice job, Nauvoo.
Tim, you still winding that? Whoa, nice job. So is that hard to turn, Tim, or are you pretty strong? Nice.
On this end, we can watch it all the way down. Grab it and pull it in the end. You know how to do it? I think I'm done. I don't know if you're real tight. You need to be tight. This is so cool. You don't want the
I do.
What I would do. No, because you gotta do you're gonna start with up here.
I will save you. I will save you. I will save you.
Do it right. Get it snug as
I will save you. I will save you.
Oh, good, Tim. Oh, you're like a donkey.
Oh my God. Don't do it.
Nice work, Matt. What's this called? What you're doing?
He unzips it every time. I'm like,
That's him.
Put it right there like that.
Get it tight there.
Hold it with one hand down a little bit. So you just keep that tight right there.
Let it knot. Now you need to pull it from this knot halfway through. Tough to do.
one more to go.
Yes.
One more to go. What's right there? What's there? What's right here? Look at it, look at it, look at it.
No, you twirl your wheel and sit Crowther, sit down. Is that your one?
You are officially stuck now.
And like all the
Fish.
we bought her a different camera and she said, it was, oh, you knew, you really knew. Nobody had it. And Lamar said to help us make roads.
Can you jump rope with that?
Sister Wells and I are going to jump over here.
Or can you type your brother?
Hey, that's why it hurts him. He's going to get more. Why am I not surprised? No, it's okay. Tim I think. Well, they're all white. They're white. And then we just different ones.
Oh, just once in the color.
Hey, we came to this about 3 times. What? We got to dip ours 3 times. We got the best.
See, we got, they give us special.
Yeah, I think so. Because somebody can ask discounts too. 10%. You can pass those. One of those raccoon hats, those cool hats. Which store? Look at it.
Oh no, that's
think the Redbird
our community Christ.
They probably charge 10% more.
Not no. They're actually the band elders and sisters are doing it's like a non-denominational show. They do with our church, their church, and a few other churches. There's actually, in fact, I've heard in years past, because they have what they call interns. They're like very young missionaries that come out here, and they've actually become very, very good starting to perform missions. In fact, I've gone home with our performance. There's actually a very, very good relationship. And we have to do what we can.
So, what are you doing up there?
Sam, you need more help? Go. Tim, you're coming down.
Tim, you feeling squirrely today or something?
I got it!
Tim, guess what you gotta do? You gotta go down to the river and you gotta scrub your own clothes.
Wow, yeah! Wow!
The fire's right inside.
So the fire is in the bottom or in the
The
top?
fire's right here. They just
Oh,
make
wow.
the fire right up in there.
So they
and
make the
then-
fire in it and then take
and then
out.
they'd pull out everything and they would sprinkle it with like cornmeal so that it wouldn't stick. They bake the bread first and then they would bake the cookies and other crackers.
See, the brick would get hot,
And maintain the
take
heat.
the fire out, and then that's how you do the baking.
They taught us in the last one.
So which one did you go to? Have you been over to the family?
Just the family. Just
You've been there, okay.
the family center, yeah.
And that's what we have, and if you want to go out this way, you can see the little house of necessity, and the well has real water in. It's amazing, it's an original.
Thank you for showing us the Scoville house.
Thank you.
All right.
What does Christina do? Tim,
Pull his tail.
pull his tail. That'll get him going. How'd you like to ride for 1,000 miles and something like this, or walk beside
You'd
something
walk
like this?
beside. I think you'd walk beside because all your possessions would be. Ow. In the wagon. Now, is this how? Are these just wooden
They're wood,
slats?
yeah.
Come up. You just don't think about this type of thing, do you?
Yeah.
Whoa, this. But this isn't a long ox ride. How much ox ride are we allowed to have?
How long of a ride?
A ride.
Just a little bit more, Matt.
Or
is there no more?
I can?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No, that's where the gentleman who's going to be giving us the.
So Tim, pretty soft ride?
No.
Oh, Fort Bridger. 1,150 miles.
Whoa, that one was a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Just for a mile. My one? I know. Go down the same. I don't know.
Big mountain. 1,250. Oh, look, we're coming to the Salt Lake Valley. Wow. That was a good ride.
Made it to Zion.
Come up to go and roll to stop, of course, or stop. And then come around G would be right, and come around Paw would be left. The left ox is the nigh ox, and the other ox is the off ox. Why, I don't know.
Be kind of step in on these boards so you don't get muddy.
Enjoyable.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Just one, you get to rotate. You have another 100. Okay. Get down, Matt. You do some push-ups. Being so mean. Hurry. Okay. You're gonna do some push-ups after we're done.
Yeah, you are,
You gotta
Dad.
do faster than him to catch up, Matt.
Hey.
Nice, Mom. That's better, Tim. Good job.
Tim, you're just moving your arms up.
No? Look.
Keep going, Matt. He's gonna beat you. Where you at, Matt?
He did a bunch. He did a bunch. There goes cute relaxing. Fun. Covered with.
Yo!
Oh, oh. What do you think, Hee-ho?
Yo!
G. Ha. Whoa. You remember all those things that Almanzo had to learn?
Squeeze right in the middle there. Put your chin on the pulpit. There you go.
Okay. Where's Get out there and play some frisbee. Whoa.
I wonder what's in this.
child, the breeze that fans thy tune, shall bear our love to thy heavenly home.
In Nauvoo. The burial grounds are located on Parley Street, a couple miles from both the bluff and from the flat. I think the main reason why they buried so many here is because they didn't want it to interfere with directly where they were living. But when the saints first arrived here, there was bad cases of malaria, so they would hold funerals here twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Over 1,800 saints are buried here. Not many of them are marked, but there's a memorial with many of the names of the saints that are buried here. Joseph Smith was recently released from Liberty Jail. When he came, our director, Sister Davis, thinks that it was in Liberty Jail when Joseph Smith became a prophet, as far as his communication with God and just his personal understandings. So when he was released, he met his people in Nauvoo, and he would impart to them the knowledge that he had gained and the revelation he had received from Heavenly Father. At these meetings, at the funerals that they would hold, he would teach the saints. In one of the songs that we sing, we talk about how our minds were enlightened by the words that Joseph spoke, and to bless our prophet, because it helped us to interweave our hearts with Heavenly Father. And I think that the spirit of this grove is definitely one of sacrifice and of eternity. You can feel that our Heavenly Father loves us so much that He wants us to return back to Him, and that many of these saints are there with Him now. President Hinckley said that second to Jerusalem, to the Holy Land, and to the sacred grove, that this is one of the most sacred places on earth. He came and dedicated, when he dedicated the temple, he dedicated the Trail of Tears, and I believe that he probably came here and just reaffirmed his feelings on the sacredness of this burial grounds and of the saints who are still here with us today, strengthening those who come and visit, so that they may feel the spirit of Nauvoo.
Thank you, Sister Crowther.
sure which one's the younger. Of the two sister brothers. Okay, so how do you put it back to regular swim? What are you doing?
What are you doing?
It's beautiful.
You gotta get
Oh, she's recording you.
Oh, she is?
Well, that didn't work.
Say something.
What are you doing? Something that I would like you to do is come down here with me so I can get the view that way.
Oh, with the camera. Ah.
It's okay. If you want to get lots of
Hey, turtle. Oh.
So now watch Mom walk out there.
Sister Jensen, I was swirling the fun. That would have been so cool to come back with the turtle and leech. I love watching those geese walk. That is hilarious.
Oh, he put his head down.
tall geese were walking.
Yeah.
The lake is, you can see it's full of mud, right?
Yeah.
Really?
Tim, just go. Just go, Tim. We don't care. Uh-oh.
Just 2 seconds. We're martyred.
He would have survived.
Martyrs are willing to die for a cause, and they are killed. Murderers are killed because the person who is the murderer wants them dead, and they are not willing to die for that cause, whatever that is. Why don't we move that off
He would
the,
have survived
yeah.
if he didn't fall out.
Yeah, so we have some water.
Fall out.
Whoa.
He would have survived.
All right. Sarah peeked out the window and saw us. Okay.
Hey, Mom, you hide behind Dad, I hide behind Dawn, alright?
Okay. I'm glad you found your belt. That was pretty traumatic there for a while.
Hey, Mom, you hide behind Mom, you hide behind Dad and go.
This is the entrance.
Mom, you hide behind Dad and I behind you. Okay? Okay, Mom? Mom, okay? Mom, hide behind Dad. Quick. Don't want Seth to see you. Don't want Seth to see you. Mom, you don't want Seth to see you.
Familiar face, and I know who you want to see. Hello.
Hi there.
Welcome to the Lucy Mack
Enjoyed your
Smith Home.
testimony today, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
We don't get too many youth testimonies in our ward, and so.
We don't all old people like that.
Sister Crowther is just about to get through that.
Look at that key.
Oh,
that is a good key, isn't it?
She might. So anyway, I'll just start with telling you that Lucy Mack Smith was the mother of Prophet Joseph Smith. She was born in 1775. Can you imagine how long ago that was? 1775. What was happening around New Hampshire in 1775? Some of you older kids. Got a clue?
What was happening
In
then?
New Hampshire. New Hampshire, 1775.
I don't know.
Yes, you do. We talked about it yesterday, Matt.
Well, there's a familiar
French
person.
Indian War. I don't know.
Actually, it was the beginnings of the revolution. We're going to let Sister Carter do this tour.
Oh, this will be good.
Hi, how are you doing? Did you guys go to Carthage?
Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry. It's all right. As you know, Lucy Mack Smith was the mother of Joseph Smith. She was born in 1775 and was baptized a member of the church on April 6th, 1830, when the church was organized. She moved with the saints to Nauvoo after they traveled, of course, across the east and whatnot. She only lived in this home for 6 months. It was purchased by Brigham Young after her son's martyrdom. Brigham Young purchased this home from Joseph Miller. Here's a picture that you can examine. There's also pictures here of what the home looked like before its restoration in 1970. Restoration. Lucy Mack Smith was a saint. She had 11 children, 8 boys and 3 girls. There was infant deaths many times, and so she did lose some of her children to that. 2 of them, I believe, one died like the day after birth, and the one died 11 days later. She promised the Lord, though, throughout her illnesses in her youth, that if He would grant her strength, that she would serve Him the rest of her days, and she truly did. She was faithful to her son, Joseph the Prophet, throughout all of her days. There's some interesting artifacts located here in the kitchen. This set of china was Mary Smith's, Lucy Mack's sister. It was given to her as a wedding present, and it is all intact except for one saucer.
That's pretty amazing.
Where's the saucer?
Where's the saucer?
So did it stay in the house then?
Mystery.
Or did it move someplace and come back?
I'm sure it's been moved and passed down from generation to generation.
Where's the saucer though?
Broken.
Probably got broken by one of the grandchildren.
What?
This here is called a dry sink. They would bring in water from the well and wash their dishes after heating them in this friendly little oven. This one isn't a bustle oven. I know you guys saw at the Living Center that there was bustle ovens, but it is a warming oven, and they would still bake their bread and use it to heat up the house and to take some coals upstairs for their 4 o'clock oven is what they call them, so that when they went up to bed they wouldn't be too cold. Lucy Mack Smith and her family had planned to move out west with the Saints, but for their own personal reasons they were not able to. Originally she had mentioned to Brigham Young that she wanted, when she did go, that she wanted her bones brought back here to be laid to rest with Joseph, but because they didn't eventually go, she was able to be buried here with Emma and Joseph and Hiram and the crew.
Wait, she didn't leave?
They didn't end up traveling to Utah. They moved to Illinois in 1846 because of the anti-Mormon persecutions. They weren't able to stay here in Nauvoo, but they did move back, and they were able to live out their life. She lived in a different home with Emma Smith. Or she got remarried, but she lived with Emma for the remainder of her days.
Is this one of her dresses?
This is not an original dress, but similar to that would be the time period. And then down here at the foot of the bed is a foot warmer. They put hot water in that contraption
What's
there.
that?
And that is a portrait.
This is a football.
She's a small woman,
Hey,
about
so-
4 feet 11.
So-
So this bed was plenty big
So
for her.
this is
Wow.
a foot warmer.
That's the foot warmer.
So bed chamber right off with the kitchen and living room.
This is like the next step.
Did Joseph Smith Sr. ever come to Nauvoo? He passed away before. He passed away in 1840.
Yeah, and that would have been, so he would have been in Nauvoo for a couple of years.
After suffering with the saints, Lucy came with her husband and family to Illinois. This is her story, so cute.
Okay.
And in his dying hours, he said to Lucy, "Mother, do you know that you are one of the most singular women in all of the world?" So, obviously, through raising their children and living the life that they did, they had
11 kids. 8 boys.
This here is the cellar. We don't take people down there, but you're welcome to look. There's original limestone. If you look down, and this is where they would keep
The body.
their potatoes. Where they would go in case of tornadoes.
Oh, yes.
Tornadoes. There are tornadoes here. There are tornadoes here.
There are tornadoes. If a tornado were to come in today, that is where we would go.
No, we can't. We can't let you go down.
We'll go ahead and go up the treacherous staircase.
Oh, I love treacherous.
Isn't she doing a great job?
Fantastic. Elder and Sister Morris, hello.
Hello. Sister Crowther, you
Sister,
look just like your mother.
I get that
If
quite
I'd seen her
often.
walking down the street, I'd have said, well, there's your mother.
Okay, I'm ready to head up.
Watch your head, Elder Crowther, because it's really low.
Yeah. Lucy Mack would fit it, but not me. Go, John.
Go.
Go.
Go. Go.
I know. I've been up with them 3 times. I used to fit them. Now this furniture is original, but it is to the time period, the Victorian time period that they would have here. These portraits, they are of Lucy's granddaughter, Lavinia Smith Walker, and her husband, Lauren Walker. And she's the daughter of Hiram Smith and Jerusha Barnett.
Can I wear those?
No, do not touch.
I'm not touching them.
That is close. As you can see, they have a fire here too. A fireplace, of course,
So it gets
to
really
keep
cold.
warm, and then their bedroom's located here to the side.
Now, this was a living area, or what did a bedroom?
I don't know. I don't know that it would possibly be a bedroom, but we don't have the exact layout of how they.
You know, they probably didn't have this railing.
Really?
Probably just had the door.
This is the trap door, Tim.
And when they
Tim and
came
John,
in,
when they
closed
come in
it.
for the night, they'd close it, and then it would be their living quarters.
Yeah.
So if someone comes in,
No. This railing probably did not exist in the original house.
This one?
but if someone comes in,
This one or that one?
This railing. And that would probably have been closed, and it's like our loft. We
and
closed the
so if
hatches
someone,
so that no one
so,
comes down.
so what? So if what? So if like someone comes in, they can't open it.
Until someone locks it.
So what is this?
Sure. This here is a bed they made out of straw. So once you sleep on it, the straw would get matted down from the weight of your body, and they would need to fluff it. Also,
Fluffer?
the saying "don't let the bed bugs bite" is from sleeping in bed with straw, Tim, because the bugs like the straw. So you would actually have bed bugs that you would need spiritual protection over.
So, Sarah, do you also
A
remember the
pattern.
sleep tight?
It makes them.
Oh, yes, of
It
course.
has to do with the ropes.
The ropes, they would tighten if they wanted.
Then you would sag and you would not have a very flat bed.
I'm
And so when they
trying.
say sleep tight, don't let
Don't
the
let
bed
the
bugs
bed
bite,
bugs
it had to do with these tightening the ropes and making sure the ropes were.
Thank you.
So you can show them.
So those are some of the interesting facts about the upstairs.
And that's the bed bug whacker, huh?
If there's a bed bug.
What is this?
Is that the paddle?
It's a paddle. I don't know if it has a specific name, but
Is it for fluffing the straw?
Yeah, fluffer, that's what I said.
fluffer, of course.
The fluffer paddle.
So two, like one person, so two, the family, the mom and dad sleeps down there, and the kids sleep up here.
Well, downstairs was grandma's bed, and then mom, dad, and kids would all sleep up here.
Well, so this is for the mom and dad.
It's possible.
It
Deed
could be
records
bigger.
and biographical information indicated the home had been vastly altered from the original when they restored it in the 70s, 1970s.
Because we went on a field trip once, and we went to this one place, and the people were really short because they slept in such short beds.
That's why they were
like
short.
Yeah.
Yeah?
It was like, but
Was that
the
the
bed
Rockledge?
was really
Is that the Rockledge
big.
Ranch? And we saw that
No.
cabin?
Oh, man,
And the little stove to keep the room warm.
Yeah,
Yeah, the McAllister.
Yeah, the McAllister house.
Yeah.
They were really, really small.
Yeah.
So the bed was only
You
this
can go outside
short.
too, there's some interesting things there. Okay. But this is the entirety of the home. Mom, you'd be excited to have this much to do.
Alright.
Okay, hold on to the railing,
Go down.
Timoteo.
Go down.
Yep. Hold on to the railing because it's very steep. Kind of like my stairs in college.
Yeah, good point.
I like your stairs better.
Because they're carpeted. I know this ladder's not as soft, huh?
Treacherous staircase. Watch your head down.
Oh, Morris, you want to show us what the outside?
Yeah, I would love to.
But how could a spot have stayed here like this all those years without somebody coming in and taking it over? And then for the church to come in and do it, and you felt a special spirit here, I understand. And this is a sacred place, it's dedicated to the Lord, and people who come here, everyone who comes here says, what's the feeling that's here? So I had a thought yesterday, there's limestone underneath the ground here, and think about the creation of the earth. When the earth was being created, do you think Heavenly Father knew where Nauvoo was going to be? And see this limestone that they make all, and do you think He had in His plan that when the saints came here, they were going to be able to use, these are just some of my thoughts yesterday, because I drive a team of horses through that creek every day, and I see that limestone, and I was thinking of what part of the history of the creation did this happen, and He knew where it was going to be. And if you were the Lord, you wanted to create the place where the ordinances of the temple were established, and where the saints really, and where the prophet lived before his martyrs, would you make it really a beautiful place?
Yes.
And well, we're from Arizona, and it's just so beautiful
Yeah,
here. Anyway,
it is.
that's way off the script.
Oh,
so.
thank you. I loved that.
This is typical of the wells of the period, and we have not told what the water table was like, but I'm sure it was very close to the surface. That was one of the reasons that they had so much sickness here, was the water. And if you look, Highway 96 is the main street that comes into town. Immediately to the east of that, within a few feet of the road, is the ditch that the pioneers dug to drain the marshy land.
I wondered about that.
And down at the Community of Christ Church, there's a roadside pull-off where you can go in your car and you park right there and take the little trail. You can go down and actually see the Stone Arch Bridge that they built to drain the swamp. And they had a drain here and then one at the north end of town. And it was very swampy and marshy. And I had two grandparents. I had 3 generations of grandparents who lived here, and the middle one died. He and his wife both died of malaria. They had 8 children. His father had 12 children. So James Allred, who was the first of the 3 grandfathers, raised 20 children. And he and his grandson in the morning battalion, and they lived right just through the block from the Prophet.
That is so exciting. Do you know if they are buried in this old Nauvoo?
James Allred went west and settled. He was a bishop, and
But the ones who did pass away from the area.
they're buried up in the cemetery.
Like your tush.
We've been up there. We
And
went
their
up
names
there.
are on the kiosks there. So, well, come over and we'll show you the smokehouse.
Yes. So if you needed to grow
This is the toilet paper. The toilet paper. Oh.
I imagine in a really wet year,
The toilet paper.
water that runs off that bluff up there that kept this swampy. And the drainage, there's always a little water running down there.
through that little area. Well, we call it a ditch.
Yes. Okay, 89th section. What does it talk about? Nope. The W of W. Wisdom. Word of wisdom. Okay, and remember it said eat meat sparingly? Yeah. And one of the reasons for that was they didn't have good refrigeration here in Nauvoo, and so this is how they would preserve meat for the smokehouse. You see the nails up there? They would hang meat from this big beam in the center.
Meat.
They would build a fire there. There's lots of good hardwood here in the area, and hardwood makes great coals. And so they would get a fire going down there, and they would close the door, and because there was not any real big opening, the wood could not blaze. It couldn't burn and flame, and so it would create a lot of smoke. And if you were to get on the internet today and key up on yahoo.com how to smoke meats, it'd tell you how to know when the meat is smoked, and it'll be real black on the outside, and then there'll be a little pink layer inside, and when it gets to that point, the meat is smoked, and it won't spoil just like regular meat. It'll last longer. And so this was a smokehouse. This is the original smokehouse. The wood has been replaced. They would keep the ashes from the smokehouse and from the fireplace, and they would put the ashes in this hopper right here. And when they got ready to make their soap, they would render fat from the animals, tallow. They would put the tallow in the black kettle. They would pour water on the ashes. The water would leak through the ashes, and what comes out is potash. They would mix the potash with the animal tallow, and that was their soap, light soap. And are you using the two concepts? Okay, have you seen it yet?
Not this.
Okay, there's going to be a song about Grandma's lye soap. So when they sing that song, the old missionary ladies, this is what they're singing about, the Grandma's lye soap, and that's how they made it. Let's come over here and we'll show you the carriage house.
Now, I'm wondering, we learned in the family center that candles needed to be stored because the critters would eat it. Would soap, because they put the lye in it, the critters would never try to get into it and
I
eat it.
imagine they might eat it, but I don't think they'd last very long after they ate a little bit of that lye soap. It would probably eat their insides
Eat their
out.
insides, and they would, But that was the only kind of soap they used
Yes.
for everything.
That's true,
Yeah.
yes. Lucy Mack really wanted to go west of the Saints, and she said if she did, and if she died in the West, she wanted to have her bones returned here, buried with her family. Well, she didn't make it, and she is buried in the family plot, but the Saints did provide, Brigham Young did purchase this Joseph Noble home for her, and this carriage house, and lots of folks don't go in here, but we'll give you folks a really great tour today. This is not the actual carriage that she owned, but this is a carriage typical of that day, and this is, in fact, an antique carriage. You can see that there were stalls for 2 horses, and what Brigham Young provided for her was this carriage house and a set of harnesses And upstairs is where the hay would be kept. Notice the pegs. This is the type of construction that this would have been made from, where they would drill holes and pound pegs in to keep it. And so this is very, very authentic. Even the nails here are square-headed nails. They used hand-forged nails. And so an oaken floor. Of course, that would have probably, I don't know that that would have had wood under the animals, but they were able to keep their horses in here in winter and keep them warm. And you can go up there if you like. Go over here, boy. Everything, the temple was built.
Are we on the same schedule or what?
Come here, boys, let me show you where you would have dropped the hay down. Your dad would have sent you out to the barn to feed the horses, and what you do is climb up that ladder and get the hay, and you drop it right down here. And then the hay would be put in the manger.
What do I have?
Right there.
What do I have?
Fancy meeting you here. I have a tickle in my throat. He just told us some interesting facts that, of course, this is Lucy Matt's carriage house.
Do they call it a carriage house?
Yes.
The hay we dropped down outside?
Yes, the hay would be dropped right through this opening here.
Oh, okay.
And then this is the manger, so they just put the hay right here.
All right.
Now, I wish I could tell you what these openings are for, maybe just to provide ventilation. I know if you've probably been around animals, you'll know that if they were kept in here all winter, that this would get a little bit, probably the ammonia in here would have burnt your eyes and pretty stout.
Yeah, probably was. But they probably cleaned it out regularly.
I imagine they did.
Like, Elder Morris, did you talk about the wooden?
Oh yes, the peg construction. We have really tried here. One of my assignments as a missionary, I worked for NRI Restoration, NRI. And Nauvoo Restoration Incorporated is the first group that was here from the time that Leroy Kimball established it. He was a grandson of President Kimball, I believe. He's the one that really got the restoration started, and that's all that was here until the year 2000, at which time the mission was established. But the group that I work for, there's about 20 full-time missionaries, and we do the painting, and
What's up there?
you could climb and take a peek.
The loft.
We do all the maintenance and construction associated with this, and this timber here is done in the old style. What they would do is use a broad axe, and you can see how they would chop across and just straight down, and then they would come along and knock out the parts, and that's why it looks the way it does. The Allen house uptown, Mr. Allen that owns that built the windows for the temple using the same old style construction that the saints used. And so he's an individual who's been a part of a lot of this restoration, and this may be some of his work. But in some of the things that I've been assigned to do, we just rebuilt the kiosk where the millstones are. Elder Ferguson and I, it had blown over, the termites ate it, and so we use old methods to make everything look as authentic as we can. So
It was for those who were awaiting their trial. You have a question? Yes, it was. There was a swamp very close to here. Now, as this was a jail, it was used as the Hancock County Jail for 25 years. George Segal was the jailer, and he lived here with his family, his wife and 7 children. The window up at the top is the bedroom window for the children. Below that, you'll see 2 slots, which are for the dungeon cell, and this window that's barred here at the bottom is the debtor's cell. We'll get to see both of those inside the jail.
Are we going to see the jail?
Everything except for the very upstairs, the children's room.
Why?
It's dangerous.
you want us to smile?
Yes,
for
please.
the picture?
I'll bet you not that sticky right now, though, aren't you?
For him.
Oh.
Water and diet.
Sugar. Yeah.
How about some chewing gum? That I remember from other kids, we had to park the wagons in the ditch to keep falling apart. Is that what we started with?
Yeah, I don't remember. I never had any wagons either. Come on, let's sit down.
We love it.
He's busy and he can't go right in. So finally his wife called and says, if you don't come, I'm gonna throw your lunch to the pigs. And the horseshoe was hot. He just gave it a toss out the window. And went in and had his lunch. When he came back, he thought, well, that was really foolish. Iron's not that cheap, so he thought he ought to find it and see if he could salvage it. So he started looking for the horseshoe, went out and started looking around, and he found it. But when he threw it out, it landed right in the middle of a big pile of horse manure. And so he dug it out, cleaned it off. But one thing he noticed when he got it all cleaned off, instead of being this color, like this, it's black. Because it's drawn the carbon out of the horse manure and put it right back into the iron. So, like I say, they were called smithies up to then. He told some of his smithies. And for items like this, that was real valuable because they keep them a lot longer from rusting. Of course, with a horseshoe, it's going to wear it off real fast, so it didn't make a lot of difference. But at least it taught them that. So from that point on, they were called blacksmiths because they would do that. So we're going to do that to this one. Do you want to clean it off when I get through? Well, we're not going to use horse manure. I'll clean it off. This is a used crankcase oil. We'll use motor oil. It'll do the same thing to this. So we're going to heat it up again. We don't have to get it real red hot. We just have to get it hot. This bellows here was in this shop in the 1840s when they were here. This bellows was taken with them when they left. The interesting thing is, when they got out in Iowa somewhere, they decided it was too heavy. And they found a farmer out there, and they stopped and asked if he is interested in buying it. And he said, yeah, he'd buy it. So they sold it to him for $5. And then when they came back and they found the foundation for the blacksmith shop here, decided this was one of the places they wanted to restore. They, from reading journals, they knew about where that farm was. And so they went out and looked around and finally found the farm. And the descendants of that family were still living there. So they asked them if they'd be interested in selling it. It was just in an old shed. And they said, sure, we'd be glad to sell it. And they said, we'll sell it back to you at the same price that our family paid for it. So they were able to bring it back and put it back in the
So are there any blacksmiths that just are working blacksmiths today? Any besides just for your show?
There is. Not very many. We did have a blacksmith in his 80s. Came down here and demonstrated how to make a real horseshoe. And I don't know what's happened to it. There's one who didn't make it completely, but it was very close. And
So how are horseshoes made now?
I'm not sure. They buy them.
It must be something.
Like everything else, they buy it.
But somebody has to make it.
I'm sure it's mechanized, however they do it.
I mean, we can hear it. It's right there.
Spencer's playing in the brass band, the marching band at Lagoon this year. We haven't had one for a few years.
So, can you tell me? I almost got the horseshoe.
Did you bring a blanket? Yeah. What? You don't want it? Oh, I'm gonna bring one home to Elizabeth and Spencer. We'll take all of them, put it on like in a little showcase. Why do you need?
He was sent in 1841 to Palestine, and there atop the Mount of Olives, he dedicated the Holy Land to the gathering of the Jews. Most significant event as we look back on it now. This next little log cabin belonged to David and Patty Sessions. Patty was a midwife, a very noted midwife here in Nauvoo, and delivered many babies across the plains in the Salt Lake Valley later. The Sessions' daughter, Sylvia, married Windsor Lyon, and this next building is Dr. out of Salt Lake City came here and purchased this home before anything had been done as far as restoration in Nauvoo. He was going to make it into a summer residence for his family. And as he began restoration, everyone came and wanted a tour. And so he changed his focus a little bit, decided that he'd make it into a memorial to his great-grand. Most imposing structure to arrive here in Nauvoo, both in the 1840s and again today. The beautiful white building looks out over this entire valley from the eastern shore of the Mississippi River. It's difficult to estimate what it cost when it was built in the 1840s because it was built with donated labor and sacrificed commodities. It is built on the same measurements as the original one, outside measurements, and the inside has been updated to meet current needs. Up there across from the temple are the statues of Joseph and Hiram. Those were put in place in 2003, and they have not yet been dedicated. We've been here now for going on 15 months, and we keep hoping that before we go home in September, that they will have a program here and dedicate those statues, perhaps in honor of Joseph's 200th birthday this year. That depicts Joseph and Hiram on their horse, Main Street, and then up Mulholland here. And there at the brow of the hill, they stopped and looked back over the beautiful city.